Hi, welcome to this Corbettmaths video on composite bar charts. In this video we're going to look at what composite bar charts are, and then we're going to answer some typical questions on them. So what are composite bar charts? Well, composite bar charts are a bit like bar charts, but they just show a bit more information. Whereas a normal bar chart will have just bars for one category, a composite bar chart will have bars on top of those that show information about a second category, maybe even bars on top of those that show information about a third category. So it could be that along the horizontal axis you have different clubs, maybe the running club, football club, cricket club, and then in one colour you've got the number of year 7 students that attend that club, and then in another colour on top of that you could have the number of year 8 students that attend that club, and it could be on top of that you have the number of year 9 students that attend that club, and so on. It could be that you have different football teams and you have in one colour the number of home wins that that team has, and then in another colour on top of that the number of away wins that that team has. So a composite bar chart is a bit like a bar chart, but it just shows information about more than one category. So here we've got a typical question. So this composite bar chart shows information about the number of drinks sold over 3 months. So we've got January, February and March. And here we've got a key at the top, and a key is very important with a composite bar chart because you need to know which colour or which pattern each bar is and what it corresponds to. So here we've got in pink hot drinks, and then in dark grey we've got cold drinks. So our first question says, how many hot drinks were sold in January? So if we have a look at January, the hot drinks is the pink section. So if you have a look at January, we start at 0 and we go up to in between 400 and 500. So that's going to be 450. So there were 450 hot drinks sold in January. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So our next question says, how many cold drinks were sold in March? So the cold drinks is the grey section at the top, and we've got March here, this third bar. And we want to know how many cold drinks were sold in March. So we're starting here at 300, and we're going all the way up to here in between 700 and 800. So that's going to be 750 there in the middle. So the cold drinks will be this quantity here between 300 and 750. So if we work out the difference between those, we'll find out how many cold drinks were sold. So if we do 750 subtract 300, that's going to be equal to, well, 750 take away 300 would be 450. So altogether there were 450 cold drinks sold in March. Okay, and our next question. So our next question says, in which 2 months were the same number of hot drinks sold? So we're looking at the pink sections because that's the hot drinks, and we're looking for 2 months where this is the same number sold. So as you can see here, in January there were 450 hot drinks sold. In February, again there were 450, so it's going to be January and February. And in March you can see there was less hot drinks sold. So the 2 months where there was the same number of hot drinks sold were January and February. So let's write that down, January and February. And that's it. Let's have a look at our next question. Our next question says, how many more drinks were sold in March than February? So we're looking at March and February, so that's these 2 bars here and here. And each bar, it has 2 sections, hot drinks and cold drinks, but the total height will tell you how many drinks were sold altogether. So for instance, here in February, the total height of the bar is in between 600 and 700, so that's going to be 650 at the top. And March, it's in between 700 and 800, so it's going to be 750 drinks sold altogether, because the total height of the bar would tell you the total number of drinks sold. So we were asked how many more drinks were sold in March than February. So we're going to do 750 subtract 650 to work out the difference between them, and that would be equal to 100. So there were 100 more drinks sold in March than there were in February. Okay, our next question. Our next question says, how many cold drinks were sold in total over the 3 months? So we're interested in the cold drinks, which is the grey section of each bar. So we're looking at the number of cold drinks sold in January, the number of cold drinks sold in February, and the number of cold drinks sold in March. So let's start off with January. So we're trying to find how many cold drinks were sold. So we know they start here at 450, and altogether the drinks go up to 600. So the cold drinks would be equal to 150 because the difference between those, 600 take away 450, would be equal to 150. So there's 150 cold drinks sold in January. Next, February. Well, the drinks go from 450 again, but this time they go up to 650. So that means if we take away the 450 away from the 650, we'll see how many cold drinks were sold in February, and that's 200. So there were 200 cold drinks sold in February. And then finally in March, well, in March the cold drinks start here, so they start at 300 and they go all the way up to the height here of 750. So if we do 750 take away the total height, take away the height of whenever the cold drinks start, which is 300, we'll see how many cold drinks were sold. Now 750 take away 300 is equal to 450. So there are 450 cold drinks sold in March. So if we add together our 150, our 200 and our 450, we'll find out how many cold drinks are sold in total over the 3 months. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0, 5 plus 0 plus 5 is 10, so put the 0 down, carry the 1, and 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 4 is 7, plus 1 is 8. So altogether there were 800 cold drinks sold in the 3 months. And that's it. So whenever you're dealing with composite bar charts, just remember that each of the colours or patterns in the bar represent different categories. So here we had pink being hot drinks and grey being cold drinks. And in different questions, there might even be a third section on top of these. And also be careful whenever you're dealing with the sections on top, because they don't start at 0. They'll be starting at wherever the section before ended. So for instance, whenever we were dealing here in January, they started at 450 and they finished at 600. So to find how many drinks were sold here, we had to do 600 take away 450, and that's quite important whenever you're dealing with the sections on top or above the bottom one. The bottom ones are quite easy to deal with, and that's it.